It started like
What started?
that.
That one.
Is
Start up. Once it will go off.
Okay, so till now you have the clarity about how is the process we create the project, and once the jar is added in the specific location, here the corresponding jar is added, and after that what you need to do is you for the testing perspective wise, you can this time once you are adding any widgets, you need to be confirm is it from which package. So like suppose I'm adding one button, so they have the text button which is coming from com.sencha.gxt. So this button is from the GXT, so I'm using this button. Don't use this one com.gwt google.gwt widgets if you are using the GXT. If you are working on the GWT, then use this button. So just
That is the
use
difference only.
Yes, that is the difference. And this is my button name equals to new text.
Same thing we said.
Yes, text button. And here in the constructor you just pass the name of the I'll give the my button. Okay, so this is how we are going to add. Now previously we are added the send button container. On this place I am adding this time is this R button, our new button. So I'm just comment all the rest of the parts. So what this time what happened is it will add the GXT button. Previously it works with the GWT button, but now this time it will add the GXT button. Correct. So once I'll run the application, so here you go, and you'll just open this one. Very first time it takes time, but later it will be working. Like here you go, you can see my created the new button will be displaying. So the next step, yes, here I have the some good effects. Once you'll over the mouse, and even we can later we can more customize this one. Even this example we saw at the last time also. So this is how. So this is just one small example which I added over here. So with this, but I want to add some more things is we just go through with the simple examples, and later we will discuss about the all events on the any controls. But still I'm giving you one small example, like suppose this button dot add selection handler. Here we need to provide the selection handle. Sorry, yes. Yes, so here it goes. Just need to improve that. Here it goes. So here I just unclick, I'll give some message. It just it's in the GWT console, it will display over here. So and we are not doing much on this because just is a simple application. Once I'll click on this, so even you can see over here clicked. So it comes into the GWT console. So this is just a small example. So even we start further, I just want to discuss some more important part which we need to be discussed in this session is the compilation process and compile project. So once I'll create this application, the next question comes, because as previously I discussed, the GWT code is written in, like GWT in Java, GXT code written into Java, and that Java code will convert into our JavaScript. So how does it happen, and what are the steps which we need to be follow? Is there basically all the conversion is happen through the GWT. So I'm giving you how the complete process is going on. First, again we need to call the compiler. We need to call the GWT compiler. Through GWT compiler, there have the three different modes of the compilations. So the best way is, once you click on this, okay, I'll just, like the conceptual wise, I'll explain you how is it going on. First, it gets your Java code and understand the Java code, and first it remove all the spaces and generate the JavaScript for every class. So if you have the 10 classes, for that it will creates JavaScript, corresponding JavaScript.
Okay.
Once that will happen, after that they have the three different modes: obfuscate, pretty, and detailed modes. So the created JavaScript itself is in which mode? Do you want to understand that? So these three are in the detailed mode. Everything is explained in a detailed. So everything is very detailed. And pretty and obfuscate, usually, because once the application goes into the development mode, we don't want to see that code, like whatever the implementation is happen, I don't want to be looked at by the client. So that's why we use the obfuscate mode, which is the default mode.
Okay.
So there the code is not be understandable. I'll explain you everything, how is it going on. So even you can see in the where. So currently you can see this non-cache.js file. Okay, so with this, these are the images, and currently we have only one file, so it's have the only single file. Apart from that, we have all the class files. So apart from that, it also we create some more files. I'll discuss later about that one. And once it will be converted, after that it will be stored the references from where it need to be called. So the compilation process starts from the Java code and convert into this. After the compilation is performed, the JavaScript is created on the basis of different permutations. Basically, we have the 6 default permutations. This permutation is nothing but the different browsers. Even currently it will follow the 6 standard browsers. These are the IE, Firefox, Chrome, Safari. So it will retain with this the default. If in future it comes any new browser which is more popular, then it will add. Even we can restrict this one also with the some of the specific browsers. No need every time, because once we are writing the code, that time we no need to work for the all different browsers. We need some specific, like even I need to test in the IE only, so I can specify only with the IE. And if I want to stick with the Firefox, so then I'll just specify the Firefox, and it will run only in the Firefox. So rest of the browser permutation I'll not be create. So the created JavaScripts will created on the different browser perspective wise. So if we have the 6 permutation, it creates a different 6 permutation perspective wise different JSS. And how's it called? Now the second thing, okay, my compilation is done, my permutation is done. Once this is completed, after that the next question comes. Okay, I called from the IE, and how my application will understand about from which JS I need to call.
Okay.
For this, it provides deferred binding. So I'll tell you the complete steps. How does it happen?
Okay.
So the basic, first I'll start with this.
Okay.
Okay. So here, how the compilation need to start from the GXT example. Here you can see one compile GWT compile project. Once you click on this, here the project name comes. After that, output type, as I already told you, the AutoCAD mode is the default mode, the pretty mode and the detailed mode. In the detail, it writes in a very detailed JavaScript, which is more user understandable. It's a more readable. But in this AutoCAD mode, it will not. And apart from that, there are so many options we can pass over here. Like when in the later we will create the compile report. So here I can pass this compile report. So with this, it will generate the compile report also. So any other argument which I want to be passed with this, I can pass over here. That will reflect in the compilation process. So once I'll start this compilation, once I'll click on this one, it will start the compilation. Here you can see in the browse, in this console, the actual compilation is started. So compiling module with the GXT3.0 examples, and it takes time to compile. Like at the very first time it takes much time, but later it will not take much time. So it completely depends. Like here you can see the compilation have the 6 permutation. 6 permutation is nothing but the different browsers. So it takes complete 32 seconds, 32.107 seconds to complete the compilations. So here I can say is this compilation process is completed. But this is the general. If suppose I want to be stick with I don't want this 6 permutation, because usually we are testing only on the 1 and 2 browsers. No need, because once it goes in the deploy mode and at the client locations and we are launching the project, then only we require the different browsers. Before that, for the general unit testings, we don't need the 6 different permutation. For that, what we can do is, so we need to commit over the GWT. Here we need to provide the set so after the entry point and before the entry point, we just need to specify the property is set property. In this one, we need to specify the name of the agent. Here we need to specify the user agent, because we are just defining the browser, so that is a user agent. Here the user is considering as are the browsers. So and the value, sorry, here we need to specify the corresponding browsers. So the value wise we can specify like
Safari.
Any browser you can pass. Like suppose I have the IE10, so I am specifying IE10 over here. Even with this, with the comma separated, we can pass with the Firefox also. So for the Firefox as a Geeko _8. Now again, So again, I'm just recompiling this complete process because already we have compiled, and now I'm compiling with the new property. So this time it will permute for the one, not for the all different browsers. Better the select. I'm going to selecting the project, so it get the reference and compile it. Okay, just something we missed it. So here we just need to specify the set property name, and in the value we can specify the like IE6, IE10, and it will work for the when we are going for the code development. It will generate for the single permutation. Correct, right. So for the single permutation we are using through this one, because if suppose our application is, we want to be install and we need to create our own var, and that var need to be deployed some other server, so that time it's very good to for the testing. Okay, so okay, after that, so now what next is, okay, in the compilation, how the next point I want to add is how the complete application going to be loaded into the browsers. Once we, okay, everything is done, we compile it, and when we start the application, like here I run the application. So here you can see it takes little bit time. Why? At the starting, first time the main HTML page will be loaded. After that, it calls the corresponding non-cache file. So I'll open this. So it calls the non-cache file. It creates two kind of files. One is non-cache and another one is the cache file. Non-cache is nothing. It loads on the very first time, which contain the reference of your corresponding cache file. So it pass the reference of your cache file, and once this communication is happen successfully, then immediately non-cache will remove from your browser. So the main intention is this information doesn't want to be stored at your browser client, so that user. So this non-cache concept is for the purpose is to be used. After that, once the cache file is going to be stored, that cache file loaded into the browser, and that cache file will call their respective files. It's completely linked. Once the main file will be loaded, after that the rest of the files also be loaded on their reference basis. So at once the main page, that's why at the starting time it takes much time, because it will get the references of all the corresponding JS files, and it will download all the JS files at the client machine. So for this, later we'll discuss some more concept through removing this complete loading process. So this is generally how the browser and the application going to be loaded. So this is the complete compilation process and compilation project, and how the project is going to be loaded. So after that, now we'll come to the next. This compilation process is clear, Mahesh, Ritesh?
Yeah, that's the only based on our requirement. We will do the process. Maybe you will be doing specific browser combination for all browser component.
Correct. You are right.
Developer doing in a particular stream, he will be going for the
Yes.
particular
So if you have any doubt, can you just stop? You can stop me anyway. Okay. So next, I'll give you very small example. here we can do the debugging in our project. Like suppose we created this application, so here I'm just using some small concept in equals to 10. I think you already aware about the basic debugging which is happen in the in our Java code. It's more similar to that. So this is my code. I'll just put this one. So how we need to debug this key? What is the value in the C? I just want to see, like in the debugging, what exactly is when once the process is going, and after that we need to check what the value is coming. On debugging is more useful when the application in the running stage and some unpredicted problem are coming. So we need to go in depth and find out what is the problem, and we need to fix with some specific solution. So here I am just putting a very simple example. There I am adding two values and finding the output of that one. So in this, how we need to do, and the rest of the complete places, how we put the debug is right click. Here is it providing the debug as option. Here the same as we did in the Java. Here we need to put into the web application. So this time this process is going to be started in the debug mode. Once I double click on this, I'll open the browser, and same at very first time it takes a little bit time. Okay, so here it's gone. Till now I didn't put any breakpoint, that's why it goes fine. On the click, the result comes 30, but on the running time I want to look at the output of C. So with the same as we did in the Java is, we need to put our breakpoint. So here you can see the breakpoint. In the once you right click on this, you have some preferences and details. So in the preferences you can specify your editor general informations on single click, and you need the specific information, then you can set your related information. So here you can only show the selected Java elements, and you can set whatever the things which you want to be checked. There are so many things in this we can set through this. So here I put one breakpoint, and now I'll check because our operation is in the on selection. So on, it's asking for the perspective. We want to switch to the debugging mode. So I'm going into the debugging mode. So there have some more options. Here you have the breakpoint list. If you added more than one breakpoint, you can get the more number of breakpoints. This is the debugging process. And here in the green it shows your breakpoint location, and here you can see the value of A is 10, the value of B, once you over the mouse and you can see the value. If sometimes we have a model, in the model internal value we want to look for this, right click on the specific selected location and inspect. It will give you the value of the selected value. If it is the model, and it's the same as we did in the Java, from there we can get the value. And finally, what is the outcome of C? We can even the debugger itself is provide the next annotations, and it's providing by the debugging. But yes, next step, and there have the over. So if I'm going to the next here, now I can see the value of C. Once this line is processed, after that we can proceed for the next line. So in the C we can see the output. So this is, and again I want to come out from the complete process, press F8. Your debugging mode is clean. Now again you can go to the Java perspective. So with this way we can debug our complete applications. Yes. So this is how. Now this is the complete debugging process, so that we can debug in our single application. For the remote application, what we need to do is, if that server is running in this machine, so then we need to set the debug configuration. Here have the remote Java application, create the new one and provide the name of the new one, like suppose localhost. I created, you can give the any name for the remote debugging. And here if the server is running on this machine only, we just pass the localhost. Otherwise, if is it running on some different location, you have some IP for that. So you can 10.0.15.76. You just need to pass the host address, IP address, and name and IP. If is it in the same network, you can give the name. Otherwise, it's in the different location and different server location. So then you just give the IP and provide the port number. So once you apply this one, after that it will run on the server, and that server should be running in the running mode. And after that, if you start the debugging, so that time it will look the server starting. If is it started, then only this breakpoint will work. And this server debugging is not for the client side code. Usually this one is for the server side. So remote, mostly if you want to look at the client side, so you no need to go for the server debug. You can debug with this configuration. And once you debug configuration and you created the new one, like I'll create a local host, I'll giving this one and I'll apply and debug. Once I'll put the debug, that time this time it's not be started, that's why, and it will give you the one new option, localhost. So this is for the server debug, this is for the client debug. They have the two kinds of, because we need to look at what is happening at the server file. And this time, once I'll put the debug over here, that time the server debug will happen, and this configuration will work only for the remote. Otherwise, if you have the local application and there, you can directly do the server debugging. This is more for the server debugs. There you are going to be configuring your properties, your features, and anything. If suppose from the database some data is coming, and you at the client it's not to be coming properly, but you want to check where is it the problem. So for that we need to use the remote Java application, that is give you the server side debugging. Is that clear enough? After that, this is
only based on the application, not to the DB.
Yes,
DB
not in the DB prospectus.
It will go and it will put the debug based on this code.
Yes.
And it will look into the server application. Whatever is there, it will look that one, including except this file.
Correct.
It will modify it. It will take this and it will do that.
Yes. So even okay, some problems are coming at some places, and with this what you can do is, okay, this code also have this problem and you can change this code, and again again you get the value. Okay, this is the fix. So you will conclude on the basis of this debug, okay, your code, and you did some changes and you just build it, and after that again you refresh your application, again it get the value. And if this time the value is coming properly, so you can say, okay, this is my fix for this bug, this problem. So with that you can fix your issues, and after that you can provide the patch to client, otherwise you can provide the new var to client, and any through any ways we can fix this kind of issues. That is the main intention for using this one. And later now we are adding some more new features, through that also we can do these operations. So that those are in the still in the experimental mode. Once it will be finalized, we'll have some more options to do that debugging. So in the debugging you have clear, Mahesh? Okay, good. We'll proceed. And GXT there is no limit, as like the GWT have some set of limited widgets. Like I'll show you, like in the GWT showcase, here you can see there have some limited widgets list. Like in the widgets we have these number of widgets only: checkbox, radio button, basic buttons, and this the list menu, checkbox, and these are the specific widgets. But once if we are going to the GXT, it's the huge list. Here you can see for your expectations the charts and the very good themes, the UI, and you can select any. It's in the different as per the category wise. So like have the button, so there have the button options is the button alignment. So here you can see the code. Once you click on this, select this option, and at the down have the source option. From there we can go with the code also. So here have the complete code. So once suppose when we are starting some new application and we need to have some new requirement and how we need to use the widgets, so this is the best reference for the Sencha. So Sencha provides all the widgets examples, and from here we get the reference, and we can implement in our applications. So once suppose I am using the grid, in the grid there are so many options. So just go through with it. Okay, this is my grid, and I just want to do some operation on this. So here you just go to there have the multiple options. From there you just find out how we need to implement this one. So like as we took the example of the button, in the button we just write some code for the button in our example. So here you can find out the events related, that how we need to add that widget in our applications, how it performs. So it provides the simple UI. Through that you can select anyone. Okay, my need is to be put into the grid, I need the list and all this. So we can use any one of them. Okay, so there are so many widgets. Once we started our own actual implementation, and we use one by one all the widgets as per our requirement. So this is almost similar to all kind of widgets. There is no special, but the difference is sometimes it's the behavior is little bit different. Now we have some containers. So container will have their own methods. Like if you come into the layout, this is the border layout. Once you go into his code, so there,
this is border layout, right?
yes, border layout. So here are the border layout.
There is something like V layout. Okay.
Yeah, this is vertical box layout, and we have the H box layout, center layout, card layout container. So here you can see this is the border layout example, and here we are creating the instance of the border layout container. Okay, and after that we have the different panels. So you want to see this, how we can implement this? I'll show you how we can implement this. So okay, this is my, so everything we need to write into the client side. Okay, so here border layout container. We need to create instance of main border layout container. Once we created the instance of this, this is the border layout container is distributed in a different 4-5 sections: north, south, east, west, center. Okay. So how we need to define this one? For with this border layout container, one more property is the border layout data.
Border layout data,
which is for specific for the specific section. Like suppose this con dot set. Here have the option is north widget. North. I'll put the south widget. So for every section have the different method. So with this, one is only directly blindly you are setting the child, or with this have the border layout data. You are specifying how much space will be taken by this. Like suppose here I'll create new I'll give the name is south.
no layout data.
Here we need to specify border layout data. With this we can specify the size is the 50.
This is taken as a pixels or
Pixels. It takes.
It will be pixels. There is no percentage as such.
No percentage. It's taking the integer values.
Always will be integer.
In the double value. So yes.
Border layout.
We need to import the border layout data. Once it imported,
border layout data is only for specifying the width or height, whatever may be. For that,
is the configurations. Yes. Once it happen, after that again we can set on the different section also. We set
here
east widget.
Put a text field or something. Data. And what about the text background text for the text field? We have to.
So here we can use any kind of widgets that should be extended with the widget class. So text field which is coming from the senja.gxt.widgets. So we need to use this one. I think some useless import was happened. Okay, due to that one, this problem comes. Okay, so here I can again use this one, delete this. So I need to put the import for this, and this is my import. Okay, once the import is done, after that what we can do is we use the same one into our root panel where we are using, and once we will place this one, it will set this
To the container.
Yes, our container. So here I'll again run this application. So here you can see this text box is added because currently we didn't pass in the proper location, so that this is the button and this is the text box. Here you can, and then this has some click operation. So we need this is just example. Later we will more discuss about the container and the widgets. This is just example for that how we need to add the widgets and how we need to specify. So this is the complete behavior, and one by one we'll look at all the widgets. This is just overview, and with this link we have so many widgets. For the reference wise, we can use any out of them, anyone. Okay, till now it's everything is clear.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So after that, what is the left is the server communications. So basically all the
We'll continue.
I'll give you just a small idea about the server communications. So later we'll discuss about in depth in the coding perspective wise, we'll discuss later.
Yeah.
So basically GXT follow for the communication wise, GXT follow based on the GXT for the server communication, GXT is based on the GWT. Whatever the server communication functionality is provided by the GWT, it follow the same one. Like the GWT is provided the RPC mechanism, so it will maintain this asynchronous communications. So like GWT provide the request builder, it follow the request builder support also. And apart from that, even recently the GWT is provided the request factory for the direct communication with the some of the databases. So for that also GXT also follow the same one. So now the question comes is, how is it going to be communicated with the server? This process is completely a sync process. So now the second question is, what exactly difference between into the synchronous or asynchronous? So you have the idea about the synchronous call or asynchronous call, Mahesh?
Yes.
Okay. So again but I want to explain you how is it be differ. In the synchronous process, what happening is, from the client, request goes to the server, and client will wait for the response. At a time, only one synchronous calls will happen. Okay, client send the request, server will process. If server takes 3 minutes for the response, because sometimes we have the very heavy process, so client need to wait for the server response. Once server will going to be responded, and then client will going to be updated. So sometimes it's very awkward to wait this much time, because some of the times the application takes much time to get the response. Yes. So this is for this and for this the another technique is asynchronous call. In the asynchronous, even in the synchronous call, at a time only one request can be performed at the server and client. There is no multiple. With the asynchronous call, at a time we can call multiple async call with the server. There is no stick bound with the single request call. There can multiple calls be happen at the same time, and client will not be wait for to get the response from the server. Once the server, meanwhile we can do is, our request is perform some sections, get the response. After that, again we can validate that one, this process is completely processed or not. For meanwhile we can show some loading message, and still in the server is processed, some other operation in the in the background, those application can be processed. So multiple calls at a time, and the response definitely comes. And any location, any case, the response doesn't comes, so that will happen. Otherwise, if any error comes, it goes this technique applied through the RPC and some other cases. So response comes in on failure. Even in both the cases, it's a successful or it's a failure case. Both the time it will initiate in an intimate to the user. This is a problem due to that when this is going to be failed. So this is the complete direct communication between the more interactive. You can say this is the communication between client and server, and more interactive with this. So at least we'll get any kind of response till there is no client server network breakage. So if anything is non-predictable, then only it will be